It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Bills superfan Endzone Elvis. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin, and new to the show, the SSN fan cam. Look at this. This is pregame before the Dolphin game. Everybody celebrating on that 75-degree day. I mean, just gorgeous. Jared, you were there. Folks walking in, folks grilling. Got the burgers. We got the brews. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We got the subs. We got those guys cheering. We got some wings. I'm starving. I don't know about you guys, but this is making me really hungry to get out to a tailgate. And sadly, we're not going to have a tailgate for a while because we don't have a home game until the 22nd. Anyway, welcome to the show, and let's talk about the blowout win the Bills had. And Jared, we were talking a little bit before we came on the show about nervousness about this game. I talked to some friends about this, and I said, I hope that Josh doesn't fall into that jet trap that it felt like he did. Like, the Dolphins were getting all the pub, and the Bills are going to have to keep up with Tua and the Dolphins, and he's going to have to be hero ball, and he didn't do that. No. Miraculously.
So calculated. What an unbelievably calculated game to the point where he had 84% completion percentage. I don't think he had a missed off-target throw in that game. He was
more touchdowns than incompletions.
More touchdowns than incompletions. One of the best games I've seen out of him in a long time. And he only threw the ball 25 times. So we're winning in a way that is completely sustainable right now.
For sure. So Josh, second player in history, for those of you that don't know, 300-plus yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and a perfect passer rating. And believe it or not, it's the first time Josh has ever done that. That shocked me to hear that. I figured at one point he would have had a perfect passer rating, but not until this game against Miami. So he saved it for a good time, right?
Yeah, he sure did. I would have thought he had another one against Miami.
Right.
He's had a couple games like that against Miami.
For sure. And let's talk a little bit about him and just the offense in general. And who deserves some credit here? Ken Dorsey, right? I mean, the game plan has been phenomenal. Again, we talked about this last week. A lot of balance. You're rotating backs through. They didn't do as much 12 as we thought they might. They went to a little bit more 4 wide than expected. So talk a little bit about that.
And I kind of was like hitting on that. I wanted to see a little more 4 wide. And I think one thing I shouldn't have criticized Ken Dorsey about last week, and I'll take that back, is the running game, because the running game is turning into our biggest benefactor in the play action game. Josh is turning into one of those quarterbacks that is using the play action to go deep and get deep chunks. And we only punted the ball maybe 1 or 2 times the whole game, and that's because we were on schedule both in the run and the pass. And I think Ken Dorsey deserves a lot of credit for that.
At any point, did you ask yourself, where's James Cook? Because I know I did. I felt like he was underused in that game, despite the fact he had the big 48-yard pass on the broken play, let's be honest. He breaks away as Josh is scrambling. But other than that, he was really held in check in the run game.
Right, and that's the one thing Miami has been good at all season, is stopping the run. But he still had a touchdown. And the bigger backs, Latavius Murray and Damian Harris, they kept us on schedule in the run game.
For sure.
We didn't have any crazy. We had 1 run broken by Latavius Murray, and he played a great game. But we didn't have that run game that we had against the Commanders or the week before against the Raiders, but we ran enough to have play action off of it, and that's what really was important.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's flip it over to the defense now, and obviously the big story of the defense, aside from them playing terrifically and holding Tua in that offense in check, is Trey White.
Yeah.
In his devastating loss with the Achilles injury. Let's get into that, and we'll get into that a little bit more in the final segment, but just right off the top, now what for the Bills? The safeties have been a little bit nicked up. We relied on them a lot when Trey was hurt with the torn ligament a couple of years ago. Now, again, we're back in that situation where it's Dane Jackson and kind of whoever else. Benford with the shoulder came back in the game. That's good. Should be healthy. Now, Elam might have some extended play for the first time this year.
Yeah, Kaiir Elam might get to step up, and he might get to show his talent while he's a first-round pick. But I kind of trust no matter what Sean McDermott calls in there. I feel like our defense is going to be solid no matter what. I feel terrible for Trey White because he was really starting to round into form, was playing awesome in that game, was playing awesome in the Commanders game, and it's just devastating that him and Von Miller can't play together, because with those two, it would be a real lethal defense. But I still believe in this defense. I think we're going to be one of the best the whole year, and the fact that we were able to have a team that scored 70 points, only scored 20, and keep Tyreek Hill in check and Waddle in check, and it was just a really, really awesome game plan.
It's interesting you bring that up. What's better, the Bills O or the Bills D, right? At this point in the season, it's hard to tell because they both have been excellent. One last thing I want to talk about. The message is sent after the Jet game, whoever it was to Josh, clearly that has sunk in, right? And they've done it, I think you mentioned, in Dorsey's game planning and strategy in terms of getting things ready for games. I also think that there was a message sent after the Cincinnati playoff game to both lines of scrimmage, because the offensive line has been phenomenal. The defensive line has been phenomenal to this point.
It's been really an aggressive offensive line, an attacking defensive line, a different defense in terms of, I felt like last year we had a lot of players who were passive in that Cincinnati game and kind of in the second half of the season. But this year, it looks like we have a ton of confidence up front. We have Torrance playing like lights out for a rookie. I think he's right now ranked the 12th best guard in the NFL on some websites. He's playing awesome, and it's just, even Spencer Brown's not a guy we're hearing about. When you don't hear about guys, it means your offensive line is playing great, and our defensive line and offensive line, like it's the same thing. It's hard to see what's better, but when you have both of those, it's a pretty good formula.
Yeah, they're clearly playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming off that playoff game for what they know happened in it. All right, let's get to a break. Coming up next, a very special super fan's going to join us, and then of course we'll get to the huddle, and in the final segment we'll break down the Bills and Jags as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as one visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associates Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Rich Gaenzler with a very, very special guest. Blessed in studio to have Bills Elvis, John Lang, with us, outfitted. He's got the guitar, the whole thing, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Rich.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Great
it.
to see you. So for the folks that are watching this, obviously I'm sure they're aware of who you are. They might not know what you are or how you were created. So share the sort of the backstory of how Bills Elvis came about.
So it's just basically a goof and a bet. And in 1992, I was trying to get on TV, and a buddy of mine bet me a box of cigars. I couldn't. And I put Squish the Fish on the back of a guitar and had an old suit. And my wife painted some sideburns and chest hair on me, and they had me on the broadcast. And then Chris Berman had me on, making fun of me later on. And my section loved it, and they were like, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. So it came out of there.
How many games later now?
Oh, man. Well, that was 92, so 30 years.
So do that. I'm terrible at math. So 400-ish games probably, and some road games that I'm not even counting probably. So, but you mentioned your seats. So there's a little stadium view here. So where would you be for people if they don't know?
Bill's side.
Yep.
Tunnel end, right in the very corner. 126, right in the front row. It's awesome down there. It's
impossible
awesome
to miss you. How many people have been there as long as you've been there? Because we see the chefs over there and a lot of other super fans like you. How many people? I mean, it's got to be a generational, almost family bonding there in the corner.
There's quite a few that have been there as long as I, and it's great when you come down and you're high-fiving everybody, and they are like family. You know, they really are. You're rooting for the same team, and having a beer together, and it's just awesome. It's just absolutely awesome.
So what number suit is this for you?
This is probably about my 8th or 10th suit.
Obviously specially made by, Ralph Lauren or somebody like that.
Yeah, kinda. My friend Holly Mullaney up in Lockport makes them for me, and she's great. She gets better with each one, and she really gets into it, and she's awesome, absolutely awesome.
And obviously the guitars are awesome. How many guitars have you had over the years?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess at least a couple hundred. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one was done by a 10th grade Lockport student, Charlie Smith, and it is just incredible. It's just incredible, the detail in his eyes, and it's just, I was blown away. And she brought it over to my house on Saturday. Oh, hi, Mr. Lang, I hope you like this. I'm like, wow.
So you originally become Bills Elvis to settle a bet and win some cigars.
Yes.
Now you're the Bills Fan of the Year. Now you're up for NFL Fan of the Year. You're at the NFL Awards. Did you ever dream that it would come to this?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's been overwhelming at times, and it's so much fun. I mean, I have a riot being, that guy.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. How many sunglasses have you gone through?
Oh, that's a lot.
I noticed too on your outfit there, you have your Wyoming and Montana patches, and I know that you make pilgrimages out to Wyoming every year to go to a game, and you also spend some time out in Montana as well. Talk about your love for the great Northwest.
Yeah, I do love the Northwest, yeah. And so we started a tailgate party a few years ago out in Wyoming, and it was just kind of a whim thing. I saw the video of the night Josh was drafted online on YouTube, and I was blown away. And I said to my buddy, I go, "Hey, we got to go to that bar. We got to go to Laramie." And I went around the bar in Lockport. I go, you, and you. We're going. Let's go. So when we got out there, there was like 100 people just looking for us, and then it turned into a giant tailgate for 3 days, basically. It was just incredible. And so, yeah, these gifted to me from Wyoming people. Like, this was from a state policeman in Wyoming, and and this year was our 3rd year of doing it, and it was off the charts. We raised a lot of money for local charity out there, as well as we're going to bring back some for Josh Allen's Fund at Children's.
Favorite person because of you being Bill's Elvis that you've met?
Oh, wow. Man. That's a tough question. I've met so many great, cool people. I was at the Madden party with Josh, a few weeks ago, and like one of my favorite old Bills is Steve Tasker. He's always gone out of his way to be nice, and I've gotten to be friends with Murph, and there's just so many cool, neat old people, and just great old Bills and Bills fans that I just love. And it's like I love to hang out with Pino, Ron, Kenny. He's just a great, generous, really good person.
I'm sure I never have, and I don't think I could, but you've done probably one or multiple shots out of the bowling ball, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. And have you had any pizza out of the filing cabinet?
Yes, I have.
Very well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy that you're here. Thanks again for coming in.
No problem at all.
Bills superfan, Bills Elvis. John Lang here joining us. He's going to stay with us into the next segment. Sam's coming up to go in the pocket. Then we'll go around the huddle and around the round table here with our huddle members as we come back on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Time to talk the QBs and go in the pocket. All right, we're back. Time to go in the pocket. National Arena League MVP, Sam Castronova, again back with us. Sam, good to see you, buddy.
Great to be here, Rich.
Let's talk a little bit about why the Bills were able to slow down that Miami offense, and Tua in particular.
I've said it the last few weeks, but McDermott's doing a great job with the defense, taking away his first and second read. And once you get Tua off platform, he can't really do all the stuff that Josh and Mahomes and other these guys do. He's really good on time and on platform, but once you can kind of get his first and second read taken away, he definitely struggled a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's move on, and let's talk about, obviously, Jacksonville in London and Trevor Lawrence, who really has struggled. I think he only has 4 touchdowns in the first 4 games that they've played, and he's really struggling despite having a really talented receiver core.
I think it's just kind of the early season woes, but also I've seen something that the Jags have like the highest drop rate in the NFL.
That's right.
So that doesn't help as a quarterback, but he's a good player. He's definitely going to pick it up and with these new receivers, and they're going to be all right. I'm kind of worried it's almost like a trap game this week.
I thought the same thing.
It's being in London and all that stuff, so we got to come ready to play.
And Trevor Lawrence is that guy that can, 5-tool guy, right? He can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. Obviously, can make every throw. So we gotta come ready to play, like I said.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Sam, stick around. We're gonna go in the huddle here in a second. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. All right, we got the huddle in place. We got Mark Aarons. We got Dr. Jared. We know him. We saw John Lang, Bill's Elvis, a few minutes ago. And, of course, we saw Sam just seconds ago. Just a quick set turnaround, not a big deal. But, guys, let's talk a little bit about this game, the Dolphin game first, obviously. I'll start with you, John Lang, because we didn't have a chance to talk about the game at all when we did our previous segment. But let's talk a little bit about how the Bills did what they did, all things considered. This game looked like it was going to be a dogfight from the get-go, and then they pulled away. And, of course, we know they win by 4 touchdowns. How does it happen?
Well, yeah, I thought it was going to be the last possession wins the game, in the first quarter. And, boy, that place was loud. That was as loud as I've ever heard it in all my years. It's like, I bet they could feel the energy in Tonawanda. It was crazy. It's like, but I thought our defense really turned it up in that second quarter, and a little bit of pressure on Tua. It seemed to make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Mark, let's talk to you about the defense and Sean McDermott with the calls. We've been talking about this since the offseason when it was announced that Leslie Frazier's going to take the leave of absence and McDermott's going to take over the play calling. But, man, the defense has been absolutely stellar from the get-go.
It has been. And I don't know if McDermott being on ground level, I think he has a pretty good guy up in the box helping him with some of these reads, to tell you the truth. But they played great. Your end of the stadium, when Tua had the ball, you could just feel it on our side. It was huge. And the defense, the middle linebacker position, he's doing a great job. Rapp came in and did his job. Remember, I was in Miami for that game last year when both of our guys were out, and we got hurt. We got stung, and I was worried that was going to happen again, but our defensive backfield did a great job.
Yeah, they stepped up, but they are hurt. And, of course, we have yet to talk about, well, we did a little bit in the open about Trey White, but, Sam, Trey White gone, but we've been here before, right? And Dane Jackson had to step in and play, and he's going to have to step in and play again.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks to see him finally kind of getting back to form and that happening. So him and Vaughn never really ever got to play together, which is tough to see. But, yeah, Dane's going to be good, and it might give another opportunity for Elam to see what he can do.
But, Jared, I will say to you, the difference between when Dane was in for Trey and now is that our safeties were the reason why they were able to sort of maybe cover up those deficiencies at corner, right? And our safeties now are clearly dinged up.
Yeah, they're dinged up, but Taylor Rapp played an awesome game, and I think he stepped in, and you didn't really notice too much of a drop-off from Jordan Poyer. And I think this aggressive Sean McDermott defense that blitzes more and gets more favorable matchups is really helping us. And if you look at a lot of different stats, we have one of the best defenses that a Buffalo team has ever had, and I don't think it's going to go down just because Trey White is gone, although he is an awesome player, and I'm going to miss him a lot. He just brings that energy, and you feel for him. It's more of a feel for the individual because you wanted him to be a part of what's about to happen because it's going to be so special.
For sure. And John, you've been Elvis. You've been around a lot of Bills football over the years. You've seen major players go down with injuries over the years. It's kind of interesting in my brain. You take Trey White out, eventually, within the next week or so, we think you plug Von Miller in. I mean, it is sort of almost addition by subtraction, and we know that a pass rush can hide some of the things in the back end, right?
Yeah, and last year we had the secondary was so dinged up, so those guys had to step up last year. So now they're into their second year of stepping up. So that shows maturity, and hopefully let's move from here. Boom.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, it's time for trivia. So let's move on to the 2-minute drill. All right, so you're new to this. Everybody else knows the drill, pun intended. We ask trivia about the two teams that are playing, obviously the Bills and the opponents, every week. And generally, you guys have been pretty good. And I feel like the questions over the years have been pretty difficult. You obviously have been to a lot of games and seen a lot of players, so I think they're going to rely heavily on you and Mark for some of these answers.
You always say that, and then Jared gets to that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Plus, Jacksonville's only been around since 1996.
True. This is a good point.
I know
This is a good point. And I will tell you this. If you've watched the show over the last couple of years, question number 2 has been asked before. So you might know what's coming. Question number 1. Here we go. You guys as a group can do this. I'm going to cover my paper so I even remember how it is. Guy who played linebacker for both the Bills and the Jaguars is Paul Posluszny. Can anybody spell his name correctly? Take a shot at it.
P-O-Z.
Yeah, you got it. Elvis, yeah.
We'll take it. We'll take
That's
it.
what we used to call it.
At the bottom, there it is. It's at the bottom how it's actually spelled. All right, question number 2. This is the one that's been asked before to the panel, to the Mafia. First Jags coach Tom Coughlin coached college football in Western New York where?
Oh, wow.
Western New York.
Tough state.
ECC.
No. Here's a hint. It's not in the 716, but still considered Western New York.
Alfred?
St. John Fisher.
No. It's from Waterloo, New York originally.
St. Lawrence?
No. RIT, guys. RIT.
RIT.
They actually had a football team. They haven't had a football team in years. Right.
Yeah.
That's where Tom Coughlin got his coaching start. Last question. Here we go. 2018, home versus the Jags. Josh breaks the single game rushing record for a quarterback. Whose record did he break? What quarter?
Tyrod Taylor.
You're both correct. Well done. Oh. Josh had 99 in that game, and of course, he's gone on to improve that record. The current record is now 135 yards rushing in a game that Josh had in his career. There you go, guys. Okay, that's the trivia. Now we got to get your predictions for the game. John, we'll start with you. Elvis.
I always think we're going to win going into every game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 35-10.
35-10 Bills, big win. Sam.
I'm going to go 27-21 Bills.
Ooh, close game. Mark?
Oh, I got 28-10.
28-10. Okay.
Yep.
The two of us will give our score predictions when we come back and break down the Bills and the Jaguars as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I'm Princess Glitterhead. I was in pain my whole life with my teeth. I want to feel better. What could I do? I could actually go all the way and actually fix myself, be healthy, get rid of all the decay. So I made a free consultation appointment. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get my teeth back. And I can see it helping so many people, including myself. It's gonna change your life. It really does. Wow. Oh my God.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I don't know why I'm so emotional about it.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was gonna fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
All right, welcome back. Final segment as we break down the Bills and the Jaguars in London and Tottenham that they say is going to look kind of what the new Bills Stadium will look like when it's eventually done, when it's not a hole in the ground. Eventually, it's sort of modeled after that, so it's going to be fun to see what that might look like for Bills fans. Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, let's break down the game. The Jags, for me, are really weird, man. I mean, they come into the year after last year and what they did in the playoffs and all that late season success, And boy, they just seem to have struggled despite their talent, especially on the offensive side of the football. They get throttled by the Texans. They beat Atlanta. And yeah, they spent the week in England, so maybe that will help them. But still, it's shocking to me the struggles that they've had offensively, considering the talent they have on that side of the football.
Right, yeah. I don't think they've hit their stride yet. And it's looked pretty rough on them offensively. Seems like Trevor Lawrence didn't hit that next step that everybody thought he was going to be and become a top 5 quarterback. It doesn't mean he's not going to. He's a talented player. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side, but I think we're catching them at a pretty good time for us.
Well, it's interesting because I think in the past when we've talked about the Jaguars, we've taken them lightly, right? It's turned into that, even though you don't want it to, that trap game. And we've gotten trapped by the Jaguars in the past. They bring in Etienne and Bigsby, really talented running backs. Obviously, the receiver corps is talented with Ridley and Kirk and Zay Jones, and Engram is their leading receiver at tight end. We have yet to play a really talented athletic tight end of the Bills to this point. So, again, let's hope that this isn't the sort of breakout game for them.
Yeah, you could think that, but then you could also look at their offensive line and our pass rush and realize that we could wreck this game pretty easily. So, yes, they have a ton of talent on the outside, and if Trevor Lawrence can get the ball off quick, they could have a little bit of success against us. But we said the same thing against Tua, and once you take that first read away, it's going to be really tough for Trevor Lawrence to get to a second.
Yeah, let's flip it over into the Jaguar defense. Josh Allen, obviously, he's their best player, bar none. He's got, 6 sacks, I think, on the season so far, but only 9 as a team. They've taken the ball away a little bit, but nothing really to write home about in terms of their defense.
No, they've been giving up a lot of points, and I think it's another defense we're going to be able to expose. They kind of remind me in a way of this Miami Dolphins defense where but the only difference is their offense can't really score the points that Miami has been scoring. So I'm not too worried about their defense. I think Josh Allen did wreck the last game we played in Jacksonville, so that's a reason to be concerned. But besides that, I think the Bills are the better team.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you 100%. And it'll be very interesting to see how Bills Mafia travels for this game. I can't wait to see what kind of red, white, and blue is in Tottenham Stadium, because I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that said they're going, I don't know where they get their money from, but there's going to be a ton of Englishmen from New York, if you will, at that game in terms of Bills fans.
Yeah, you think they're going to be drinking a couple pints? I think so. I think so. Also, I think that this might be the first game in England when there's going to be more Bills jerseys than just random other teams.
Right. Yeah, Bills Mafia will be the rabble-rousers, the hooligans of American football, right, for that game. It promises to be fun to watch, that's for sure. All right, let's get a score prediction from you first.
I think we're going to win big. I'm going to guess 34-10.
34-10. I'll go 33-13, just for no reason whatsoever.
That's a scoregami, right?
Yeah, I'll make it all threes in there for some reason. Bass has a big game, whatever the case may be. Got to thank Dr. Todd Shatkin, Aesthetic Associates and Shatkin Dental. Got to thank Bills Elvis, John Lang, for joining us. Great job, of course, as you have always done every week. Of course, our great crew here as well, and of course, you for watching. Let's go, Bills. Beat the Jags. We'll see you next week on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Aarons at maarons@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.